First, our friends had time to do research on what life in the Alliance looks like. Then, they got to experience their first morning on a spaceship. Now, they get to meet the Alliance officials and get their very first taste of an alien planet. They've come a long way from the very beginning of their story and are starting to embrace this next chapter of their lives.
And she sort of sits down and gestures at you all to also sit down. I have some questions. We've received some reports, but what brought you all here?
A shit job with a shit end result.
That's what we were told. Spectre said that parts of the mission didn't go as planned and you were all forced to be extracted, but did you guys know anything about what was going on before she took you out?
Really, we were told by the Federation to pick up a package, not mess with it in any way once we had it, and to put it in a undisclosed yet location. Once we had it, we did not know where we were going, could not control where or what path we were going in, and we were officially not allowed to contact anyone about it.
She looks baffled by this. That is definitely unexpected circumstances.
Yes.
How did the mission end? Because she said there was no option to return you all to where you were.
Well,
To take off. And
Blew
then,
up the ship.
yeah, that.
Jaeger that we were on, they blew it up.
Her eyes get really wide.
they took the cargo hold, which they thought held the Belair Scout, and once they had the cargo in a larger ship, the original ship we were in, the Jaeger, was destroyed.
Her eyes are real wide. I imagine that was rather traumatizing for you all. Are you all handling it all right?
The Federation doesn't always play fair.
We've gotten some concerning of that, yeah. You don't have to worry about it anymore. You're in the Alliance, and you never have to go back now. Do you know anything about what the Alliance is? I'm assuming probably had some time to explain things to you.
Yes, we're as familiar as anybody could be with anything with 24 hours of kind of being within it. That is to say, not very much.
Nods and smiles sympathetically. I can't even begin to imagine what a shock you're going through, but you all seem to be handling it quite well, and do you have some questions to what you were doing there, my dear Ashenforged friend? But I imagine that will all be answered later. I don't want to overwhelm you, but are there any questions you have?
Too many to think of one specific one.
No doubt you have a lot of questions, but give it some time, you'll find the answers, and we'll help as much as we can here, and I'm sure your captain and her second mate will answer as well once they're done with their medical exams.
Yes, they've been quite helpful, actually.
I do have a question. This could probably be applied to everyone here. Within the Alliance, I know each has its own sort of government. We also now a part of those governments? And if we are, is there any other sort of questions or anything that would need to be answered to them, or we need to go to them right after this?
Because we were hired on a temporary basis. I actually hadn't had any jobs from the Federation in almost a year. So this was my first chance at getting a job since then. It seems peculiar and kind of intentional, that they were to pick us, a variety of misfits and problematic people, especially the captain, to blow up a ship and get rid of people that may cause questions within the Federation.
Oh, don't worry. There will be people looking into that, and I'm sure your captain's already looking into it, whether she's you or not. Then again, be free to do your own research on that, but no, we will be we'll be looking into that, and if we find out anything, we will share that information with you. But as to the governments that exist within the Alliance itself, if you choose to stay on the ship, you won't have to be as beholden. But there is a government for all of your peoples.
I'll stick with the captain, at least until I figure out what I'm doing.
Yes, right now it seems best to stay on the ship and get a better idea of how things work around here and a better culture immersion.
There's quite a lot to explain because there's a lot of variety here. It varies from planet to planet. Some people stick more to the governments of their home planets, where some will adopt more based on other peoples who live on the same planet as they do. And if you'll have plenty of time to choose if you want to stay on a particular planet or if you want to live with a particular people. The options are endless, and you have access to all the information you could want on them.
All right.
I actually do have a direct question for you.
Yes?
Where do you get my music? Like, do you buy it? Or are you, like, pirating it? Or, like, what are you doing?
That was not Vi snorting. That was Alexis. No.
She just kind of like cocks her head and she's like, well, I buy it, of course. I mean, how else would I get it?
Yeah.
Within the Federation, Ferida's music was not nearly as well known. She actually did not know about their peoples having access to her music. She did not know how popular her music was until we got here.
When I looked on one of these websites that's covering the net worth of certain music artists, and I see that it's actually kind of high, and I look back at my bank account, which is dried up, pretty much, I wonder where that money went.
She just looks completely baffled. She's like, how did you get your music out here if you didn't know we were here?
What got it out there? I mean, I would post it to various social media that exist within the Empire, within the Federation, but it was always just a kind of a modest response. Nothing crazy. I mean, like I said, I got on this job because I was looking for something else to try to live off of.
That's one of the things we're trying to figure out.
She still just looks very confused, and she's like, honestly, I don't know if I could help with that one.
I was wondering if you might know somebody who you could point me to.
She just shrugs, like, unfortunately, no, I don't really have any connections with the music industry. My friend, he knows some things, but I'm not sure if you're quite ready for his level of intensity.
Oh yeah, no, I'm good. I'm just asking about a name, a label, specifics. What do you interact with?
I mean, I think most of your music is published through Future Tracks.
Okay, that looks like it's about right, so it's not spreading a lot.
It's available pretty much everywhere. You exploded pretty quickly.
Well, at least someone's doing a good job of spreading it around.
She just looks so confused.
Well, if you wouldn't mind keeping what we've discussed in this room and with only the people who you need to report to, I would appreciate it.
Oh, of course, and don't worry about John. I'll make sure he keeps his mouth shut.
Well, thank you.
He owes me. Plus, if we're being real, no one would believe him. He's made up some really interesting stories. He's been telling people that he's known you for years, and yeah, no. That is obviously not true.
No idea who that guy is.
He's a good one, just a little weird.
A little bit. Oh well. People are people.
He's just gonna nod. And I am rather curious. How did the Federation treat you, and how do you feel about them? What is it like being in the Federation?
What was it like? I mean, seemed pretty normal. I don't know. Just kind of have to do your part to make it keep moving.
If you followed all of their rules, things went relatively alright, but you asked the wrong questions or broke specific rules, then things could go pretty badly for you.
Yes.
As you're saying this, Tali walks out of the door and is like, oh, that's done. And wait, what was that, Violet? She came in time to hear you say that sentence.
What? I mean, you should have some experience.
Yeah, no, I have. We can talk about that later. Spectre should be out soon. They're just checking one last thing.
Just, the government was pretty stickler for certain rules.
Yeah, they treated Ashenforge like shit.
Yes, that they did as well.
I wouldn't put it that way, but it wasn't great, I suppose.
Tali just looks over at you. It's okay. That's why I put it that way for you.
Anima, didn't you yourself describe that some people would think of Ashenforge as nothing more than sentient furniture at times?
Casey described it like that. I don't remember if Anima described it like that. Casey did, though.
Never mind.
In that case, Tali's gonna be like, well, that's a really nice way of describing it. The amount of people that tried to use me as, like, a coat hanger or to order me to buy them drinks. Just so glad no one there did this.
I understood, Bendis.
So at this point, Spectra walks back in. She's got her jacket draped over one arm. She's tucking her shirt. Like, oh, I'm done. Are we ready to return back to the ship?
I mean, if y'all have all the information that you needed from us.
Reminds me. And she points to the Eldori lady. I was told to tell you we're going to be traveling towards the Belair Crucible. And I've been ordered to deliver some supplies from here to the Alliance base near there. With space data, if you could alert the proper people to go ahead and start loading things up, that would be wonderful. Absolutely. And she does a couple taps. It's taken care of. If you would like to return back to your ship, that's good. Let's at least return back to the docks. Might be able to catch a shuttle down planet. Decided to get some food and see about getting you guys some new clothing. I was able to get some more to the allowance, give you guys a little spending money, and she's talking as she walks, and she's guiding you down the hallway.
As Farida stands up to follow, she clicks the earring and follows out. Winks at the person that she was talking to, that stays back in the room.
Eldori lady that I forgot to name.
Yes, winks at the Eldori lady, smiles, and walks out with the changed face.
Anima's going to turn to her and say, didn't you have specific questions for me? You wanted to know how I got there, I think, what you said.
Yes, I would be rather curious if you have any information on that.
I don't, I'm sorry. I can't remember.
Unfortunate, but it's okay. You don't need to worry about that. Just if you ever remember, we would be curious to know, but it's no pressure.
I'm curious to know as well. I can't remember anything before I woke up there. My memory from before is gone.
When you say that, she just makes eye contact with Spectra. Like, know people who can help with this, right? Spectra nods and says, yes, so Ellie and I are going to start contacting them whenever we get back in the sky. Get that taken care of, and if you learn anything important, we'll be sure to share it. Much appreciated. Good seeing you again, Spectra. Seeing you too. It's good to be back. She puts on her jacket and says, you ready to go? I'm imagining you're all getting kind of hungry. At least you will be when you smell this food in the market.
Some kind of food court or something that we're going to?
She starts walking gestures for you to follow her towards the docks unless there's anything else you guys want to say to the nameless Eldori lady.
When Vi leaves, she probably sort of nods at and says thank you to her.
Yeah, she says thank you back, and as they're talking, Spectre explains, there's a small little marketplace down planet side that kind of a place mostly the locals know about. It's not a place most people go, but it's a place I'm very familiar with. There's not going to be a lot of people there, which will be good for all of you to help give you a taste of what it's like to be planet side without overwhelming you. Plus, I've been dying
Places
Delicious.
frequented by locals are my favorite.
Yes, and there's a couple shops that should have some nice clothing, good options for you, so you all can start building a wardrobe. At least have some clothing of your own.
That would be nice. About how far away are we?
He gestures towards like the window, and you can see part of the planet, just like the rim. Just a quick shuttle ride. It'd take about 15 minutes.
Random question as we keep on heading towards the shuttle. Outside of game. On my communication device, am I still on Federation info? Or do we have two?
They've probably at some point given you a new one that's going to be much more high tech. Like you can sort of still keep your old one to sort of keep track of the news from there, but it's only going to give you Federation information. You have a newer one that's going to be faster, takes up less space, and it gives you access to the Alliance side of information.
Okay, then this little bit of research that I'm doing right now, I would have done before we landed, during that time of writing the song, like in getting distracted. But I would want to try to figure out how much time there was between me releasing the song inside the Federation and it making its way into the rest of publication. So I guess on my new phone I would look at what time a song was released, and then compare that to what time I know I released it.
When you look, there's about like 1 to 2 hour difference.
Then I would have posted the new song right before we walked onto the station.
Okay.
On the
And
Federation side. I still release it through Federation side because I don't know how to release it on this side.
I do have a question about that.
Yeah?
Doesn't the Federation think we're all dead?
Yeah, they do.
Oh, then I probably wouldn't release it through that.
If you have a new song, you have no idea how to release it. I imagine you start to inspect your capture. It's like, I don't recommend that until we know for sure they don't want to make sure you're all dead. Try and see if they can find a way for you to publish on this side.
Would Vilena have a second sim unit now, or would she have her sim goggles and sim unit, or would she have just sort of upgraded her goggles?
Since yours are specialized, we can say that Tali was able to help you upgrade yours.
Okay,
I think you were
so-
and you also, when you have access to, now when you access ShadowNet, you can access more servers.
Okay, so I can access both the Federation and the Alliance.
Yeah.
Great, cool, thank you.
I just realized a thing about that. Would there already be rumors about my death?
Let's get to that over lunch.
Explaining what I wanted to do, I wanted to release the song early enough to, while we're eating, be able to watch just a crowd of strangers and see if they react to it coming out at that time.
Yeah.
Because that sounds cool.
That sounds so
Yeah.
cool, and I'm really sorry that me pointing out logical fallacies that I saw maybe ruined that, because it sounds really neat.
I was about to bring that up too, of like, you could, but
It may cause problems.
Well, would there? Or is it just me raising my middle finger to the Federation saying, "Hi, you didn't get it"?
I mean, do we want them to know that we're alive, though?
That would be a
Probably
conversation that would be important to have.
Yeah. 'Cause if one of us is alive, then we're probably all alive, and that's maybe not great for them. But I don't know if they'd come out here against us. Okay.
Yeah, they may try to.
that might help them realize that, well, if you didn't die in that ship, where did you go? Once they're done scouring the Federation, they can't find you. They're gonna be like, what if they went out? How did they get out? That could cause issues.
Well, my thought is that they put me on that ship because they wanted me nixed already, because the music was becoming too popular outside the Federation.
I imagine since you do in other languages, people, like, after a while of hearing you consistently come out with it, they were probably starting to be like, some people were probably starting to ask, like, what language is this in? Like, what if there's other people that speak these languages, and could there be something else than what we've known? Don't worry, you will get chances to give them a giant middle finger, I promise. Faradil will get her chance to just give them a really big middle finger, don't worry.
If any of the ones that she runs across that are responsible for trying to do it survive long enough to see it,
It's going to be some time.
I wish I could Photoshop, because I would, Photoshop real quickly. The rumor come out, does Farida is dead, onto that, does Bruno Mars is gay article. If I had Photoshop, but I don't, so.
I've figured out how I can release the song. Make an anonymous account.
Yeah?
And then people can try to figure out who it is. Other people can try to figure out who it is. Like, hey, who's this singer? I want more of their stuff.
That could also be interesting, because I don't know if your person would see that song. You do it under a different name.
I think that eventually, because if he's the owner of the copyright, then someone's going to be like, hey, have you seen this song done by your copyright? And he's like, what?
Yeah. Because, if you're doing it under a false name, he might not pick it up at first, so, you can, go back through and see, it only took a couple of hours, but for that one, it's not going to pick up. Then you could probably go on one of your fan message boards in the Alliance and be like, hey, I think she's publishing under a new name now.
I'll let someone else say that.
Yeah.
That's not something I would say.
Just create a fake fan account on the Alliance side of things.
Well, I'll let someone else make that account.
I'd Tolly with food to troll people. I don't even think you'd actually have to bribe her with food.
I would be fine with doing so. But also, since I used the machine sounds of the engine room, that means that the first time this guy heard it, he'd be like, oh, hold up.
Hang on, wait a second.
Yeah, exactly.
What guy?
I didn't think of that on purpose, but it's a happy accident. I realized afterwards that, well, what if there's, security concerns about, the specific sounds of these engines? And I'd be like, oh, no, this is exactly what this guy would know.
What guy? I'm confused.
Somebody.
Someone none of y'all know about yet, and none of the NPCs know about yet.
That's why I'm being vague.
A big bad someone, or?
No. It's the person Victor and I have talked about that is the reason Farida's music is so popular in the Federation. Not the Federation.
Oh, okay.
The Alliance. I'll get those straight one of these days.
Non-murdery people.
Yeah.
Not necessarily murdery people.
Farida has decided she's going to create a new name to publish her music under.
Like Anon from Among the Stars, or something really, the most vague, the most generic.
You might want to make sure your voice is a bit different, so people don't listen to it and be like, wait.
I mean, it'll be like a really bad YouTube rip. Since I have the original, I can downgrade the quality as much as necessary to make it believable that this person just recorded it with whatever device they had, and they're posting asking, hey, does anybody know who this is from?
Okay, alright then.
That's a cool idea. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Are you working on that as we're taking the shuttle down?
No, I haven't had time. I might mention it to Vilena.
Mention the new song?
Well, mention that I might not be able to release the new song because the Empire thinks I'm dead, and I don't know where to post here in the Federation. No, not in the Federation, the Alliance. Why do we have 3 different names? Ah!
I never called it the Empire. You do that.
I have called it the Empire from day one.
Yes, you have.
Well, fair enough. We can try to research on how to publish your music, the Alliance, and figure out what to do with the Federation in a little bit, if you wanted to publish to them as well.
I was gonna pipe up. Maybe we should figure out who's been the one getting your music published here. Because if whoever they are, they could probably sue you for everything you're worth for copyright infringement.
Not worth anything. That's the secret.
Well, according to the public, you're worth a lot.
Well, then they'd be suing themselves.
Mm.
And besides, a copyright strike isn't like they're gonna take my entire bank account from me.
Let's wait a bit before we decide anything. We've still got a lot to figure out, and I imagine you guys are talking as you're on the shuttle, and Spectre's like, yes, it's best to not rush into things. We've still got a lot of questions to answer.
I think an anonymous account on them two would be enough to at least release the song.
Yes, that could work. Oh, look, we're almost there. The shuttle's quickly approaching a little landing area, and it looks relatively similar to other planets you've seen, except for, like, the Federation, a lot of stuff was uniform, and here it's not. The housing styles definitely lean more towards reflecting the styles of the people who live in them. And it's like in the Federation, the few pockets of different races would do what they could to add their own flair to things, but they weren't really given a whole lot of freedom unless they were on the Outer Rim, where they were mostly ignored. But these, like, they very much different styles of houses, different colors, and it's mismatched, but it all works well together. And Spectra leads you to a small marketplace, and it's like, there shouldn't be too many people here. Come on, the noodle shop is over this way.
Spectra, what planet are we on again?
Give me a sec.
Okay.
Right.
It just occurred to me, I haven't been taking notes. I need to take notes. What's the planet's name?
Can
Planetara?
you do that for me? No, that's where we were. That was the first one. So, welcome to Andaria. Over here. She opens the door and gestures for you to go in, and it's a little restaurant, and there is one of the waiters that approaches you is Kesh. They have the smooth greenish skin, the pure black eyes, solid black, and they approach and they say something to Spectra, and she responds back.
I'm guessing not in common.
Yeah. They seem to be addressing each other rather familiarly, so they probably know each other, and since you know she's part Kesh, figure they're speaking their native language, which I don't remember what that is off the top of my head. Yeah, so she says something, and she holds up, takes a second and looks at Ty's like, no food allergies, right? No, nothing came up in the scans. Okay, good. And then she continues on her conversation in the language you don't understand. She holds up all 5 fingers, and the person nods, and one goes behind and it's like, it should be ready in a little bit, but how's your conversation? But it didn't take too long.
No, it was quite pleasant.
I was just very aware of things that had happened in the Federation. That makes sense, since you were go to the Federation to learn more about it.
There's been some monitoring going on for some time, but it's definitely started increasing lately when we started noticing the strange things going on. Still trying to figure out who might be behind them.
Strange things like, what?
Just the mysterious missions, rumors.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Still not quite sure what to make of all of it, but we've been needing as much information as we can get back to the Alliance so they can figure out how best to approach. And as you're saying this, Tully's like pulled out her tablet, she's tapping away on it, and the cash man comes out with some bowls of noodles, and it's basically ramen, because it's space ramen.
Okay, alright. Exotic ramen.
It's my jam.
And Spectre starts using. And are you finding anything interesting? What are you looking at, by the way? Well, I was just monitoring Federation stuff, seeing if there's anything about the Jaeger and all of that going on in their conversations.
Have you found anything out yet? Or has it just been silent?
Well, we're all dead. Congratulations, welcome to your afterlife. You have noodles. She says as she takes a big bite of hers and slurps them down a little bit. And they are delicious.
Like, get her first bite of noodles and then, like, stop mid-bite. And then, like, think for a bit and be like, oh no, that's not good.
All right there, Farida?
Do the Alliance know? Or think that we're dead?
I told to them about what happens with the Jaeger and how we're supposed to be on that ship. We all were. That's why I extracted you the way I did. Yes.
But if the Federation thinks I'm dead, then whoever it is that got my music over here probably thinks I'm dead. So all of these people probably think I'm dead.
Oh, your value will go up.
I mean, sure.
Allie snorts when you say that. Spectre just kind of rubs her chin and is like, that's a interesting conundrum. I have some suspicions on the kind of person brought your music over. I have someone who might be able to help some questions. To figure out where they are first.
Who are they?
I've been putting some feelers out to see what information I can gather.
Okay.
A friend who has friends in places I don't.
Fair.
But yes, going to be some interesting things to deal with, but said they think you're dead. Is there anything else, Tally? Well, there's some suspicion as to what caused it, but there's nothing official yet. It's like, talk about sabotage. I don't know, seems to be mostly unsubstantiated rumors. I'll keep an eye on it and see if they make anything weird out of this. It's a good call, and see if you can figure out anything about who might have been behind that mission, or just keep an eye on the chatter. Already on it.
We get a name of the ship that took the cargo bay?
Looks like... Yeah, there's no mention here of the cargo.
Yes, but when we were watching the cargo being picked up by that larger ship, did anyone happen to know if there was a name to it?
No, it looked unmarked. Which is odd. There's usually some sort of marking on it. It was definitely Federation, but didn't have any signifiers or designations on it. Obviously, whoever it was wanted absolutely no chance of it being traced.
I suppose no one took a picture or had a picture of it.
I mean, we got a video, but in running it through everything, nothing for sure. Don't worry, I'll be digging into it more, but I think you're dead, and well, at least now you're somewhere better. We have noodles, and you guys have some clothes shopping to do. Some lovely little boutiques around here, and I wonder if I can find any good tech stuff. Always looking for new stuff to play with. She's just busy slurping noodles while keeping, distracted by her tablet.
Well, just careful you don't get any noodles on your device there, otherwise you may need a new tablet.
Oh, don't worry, We've learned to make the tablets able to withstand just about anything, especially when Tally's holding it. And Tally just kind of shoots her a look and sticks her tongue out and then goes back to what she was doing. So, it's a pretty quiet place. There's a couple of other people, and they look at y'all curiously just because this is a small area and we don't know you, but when they see the Alliance uniforms, they just kind of shrug, and it seems like a mild curiosity, but it's like no one's really paying a whole lot of attention to you. And you guys can just keep chatting, and then whenever lunch is ready, Spectra gives you some time, and she gives you allowance of enough money to get the start of a wardrobe, and just whatever styles you want. You could make it either street clothes or have it... Okay, so you can just kind of buy some clothes, and we can decide later what parts of it can count as part of your armor and what parts of it are just regular street clothes. But after lunch, you have the time to start building yourself a wardrobe.
Hooray!
Hey.
Yeah, I don't know, is there anything else y'all want to talk about or ask, or things you want to make sure you do while you're in Planet Side? Because it's a small area, so there's not a lot to explore. There's a couple of boutiques, and Spectra and Tally kind of hang out in the center and just kind of keeping an eye on y'all just so you don't wander off and get lost.
Well, I can't really think of anything specific for me. Oh, Mylena, do you have any ideas of materials you might need for making more, for example, of these earrings or any other specific knickknacks?
Well, that would depend on what it's being used for. Those earrings were at least partially, if not entirely, made by an artificer. So I would need materials that are able to be changed or enchanted in such a way.
Oh, I think I might have read about something that does something similar, but I can't remember the name of it right now. Victor knows that it's called Residuum in Crit Roll. Just on the tip of my tongue, but it's also really rare, and I don't think that we can find that here. Oh well.
Can I look at her earrings closely without her, taking them off to see if it's, solium? Because solium is definitely a metal.
I have no idea what they're made of. I made them up on the spot.
It's okay.
Basically, Farida, you have those indefinitely, and Spectra's not going to need them back anytime soon. She's got plenty of time to order another pair. Mylena, with your knowledge, you know that it's something that is incredibly specialized, and I don't think you would have ever heard of something like that being possible to make. Probably heard people theorizing about it, but There's also quite a bit of stuff in the Alliance that you're like, oh, I didn't know this was actually possible, but apparently it is.
I think besides clothes shopping, I'd get some materials for this.
And you're able to find some. You probably won't be able to get any of the super fancy stuff, but the standard stuff that you need, maybe some extra stuff. And the prices are actually not as high as you're used to, because you've probably had to get creative to get the stuff you need. At least when you were starting out in the Federation. No, they're pretty decently priced, and it's good quality, too.
Alright, then, yeah. I take some of those, or I buy some of those, I should say.
You got a couple items of clothing and enough material to probably do a couple of projects, as long as it's not anything too fancy. Anima, how are you handling the clothes shopping?
Oh, Jesus.
You know Faraday's asking for your
Does
opinion.
anyone want to help Anima?
I think I may see Anima struggling after a minute. And Anima, would you like some help with color coordinating, or is there a different problem?
I would take any help you can give me. Please help
Alright.
me.
I can definitely help you.
Confused robot.
Not a robot.
Are there any colors that you like? Do you like reds or those, or darker colors like greens, blues?
I like blue.
Okay. Do you like lighter blues or darker blues?
I guess I like darker blues.
Alright, so we can see what darker blue clothes they have, or pieces that would go well with other dark blue clothing. Sure, let's go look.
It takes some time. You have to talk to some of the shopkeepers, but they're all very friendly and more than willing to help, and they're able to find you some pieces that fit, and you can spend as much time as you want picking out different styles and getting opinions on things.
Anna comes out, and Violina and Farid are like, nope, not that one.
Nope. Maybe. Nope.
Instead,
I imagine it turns into a little fashion show, so like Spectra and Tully come along and they start sort of adding in their opinions, and Tully just kind of starts really getting into it, and the shopkeep is amused watching this, but you can tell like they've helped Ash and Forge before. This is a little different, but they're like, it's not weird to them. They are very entertained.
Does Callie keep adding like kind of crazy things in? Seems like that kind of person.
Tully's got good fashion sense, but she's probably like throwing some stuff in there that Anna was just like, what?
But
Occasionally sees Tally do this and just kind of giving her a look. Really? Okay.
It's all stuff that works. Just stuff that you're not used to. And Anna's just, Anna's not used to this at all. And Tally's just like, I get to play dress up. She's really excited about helping Anima find her fashion.
I just see Tally giving her like sort of shinier things than Anima is gravitating towards at times, and it's just that's why Violet is trying to bring her a look like
anything like really ridiculous, like a feather boa or something pops up, Farida will sleight of hand it off. Okay, this doesn't go here. Without really saying much, just be like, okay, no.
Tally probably puts one on her at one point, and she's like, not quite, and just flips it off and throws it in Farida's direction.
Farida pitches it, puts it on, tosses it over one shoulder, and keeps on working, and it works.
Tally's gonna be kind of watching Anima's reactions to different things and trying to like help her gravitate towards like what she looks like she likes.
at some point, someone, not gonna name names, don't know who it is, but someone sneaks in one of the like Japanese Lolita style dresses.
Hell yeah, that would be Farida.
Okay. I wasn't gonna name names, but someone sneaks that in. Anima does try it on. She looks really uncomfortable. Not her thing.
Anima in my brain still looks like a bodybuilder, which would not work in one of those dresses.
Tally just kind of looks in and is just like, not this dress. One of these days we'll find you a dress that that works, but this is not it. Farida, not even close.
Why?
No.
Here, try this. If she holds out pants.
You can't pick on me for picking out a dress if Tally's gonna be putting one of these ridiculous feather boas on her.
I just wanted to see how she would react. Come on, sweetie. Let's get you out of the dress and into some pants. You look like you're about to crawl out of your own skin, which is a really weird look for an Ashen Forged.
I don't like it.
And she just gives you another outfit to try on and shoves you back into the changing room.
Okay.
And closes the door.
You do eventually find something, and everybody celebrates. Farida will make the special effects of, like, a spotlight and, like, sparkly glitter fireworks all around Anima.
The outfit is very boring. The outfit does not warrant such special effects.
You chose it, so it does.
It'll probably be, like, slick special effects, like maybe some subtle lasers, still a spotlight, maybe a little bit of smoke creeping across the ground. It would be appropriate special effects for whatever the clothing was.
It's like slacks and a button down.
Then it would be the slacks and a button-down equivalent, but in lights.
Okay. It's boring, but like functional clothing.
Until I see she like it, she's just gonna don. That's good. I'll see if I can find some more variety. And she grabs some other things that are like, it's similar stuff, but maybe different colors that she had seen that you kind of gravitated towards that'll work together. So, like, it's the start of a wardrobe. It's a little simple, but, like, there's a little bit of flair in that. She buys the boa for Farida. You all make your purchases, you're happy with it, and get back on the shuttle. It's a little more cramped in the shuttle with all the clothing, but it's not uncomfortable. Load everything back up on the ship. It only takes like a couple of minutes to undock and head out, and the ship's a little slower, but that's just because there's quite a bit of supplies loaded in the cargo bay, and you're strapped in.
A note about the amount that Farida buys. It is much less than you would imagine. It's like a single bag.
I kind of pictured that y'all would get, since you basically have nothing, get some pants, some shirts, just like start of a wardrobe, maybe like a couple of accessories.
It's still less than you'd think.
Basically, you got $100 shopping spree at like Walmart, Target, and Ross.
And maybe I spent about 50.
Because you're not used to having money.
Exactly.
Emma's not used to having clothes. That sounds weird. That's some phrasing issues.
She's not used to having not her uniform.
Yeah. Owning possessions is a new, like, concept.
Didn't we have at least some clothes, depending on what we brought on, because tally dollar stuff?
So you probably did have some clothes, but
Most of our stuff,
I
yeah.
imagined a lot of you didn't bring everything that you own with you. You brought the important stuff, but not everything that you own.
Emma brought everything she owned. All she owned being sort of relative.
And it's all yours now. The Federation isn't getting it back. Especially not the uniforms.
All those have been burned.
Either by Farida or by the incinerator.
Hmm.
Yeah, so after a fun shopping trip, you head back to the ship, undock, you have some time to arrange your clothes in your closet. Anima, do you ask for help arranging your clothes in your closet, or do you know what to do with them?
I mean,
Just hang out in the bag.
I imagine that they didn't just, like, send us to sleep in our uniforms. We probably had sleeping clothes or, like, resting clothes or whatever. I know how to hang up
In
clothing.
some places, probably. Other places, it was just stood and dozed off, like the times when you were transported long distances and basically locked in a closet.
Yeah. In some places they had barracks, and in those barracks we had sleeping clothes, and we had to hang up our uniforms so they wouldn't get
Wrinkled.
wrinkled. Yeah, that's the word. Thank you. Anima knows how to hang up clothing, you guys.
One of the things that Farida does get is a similar Lolita dress in the right size.
Yes.
Because she has, like, her super glam queen dress, which she still kept from the Empire, but that's, like, this weird, like, virtual thing that, like, hangs out in jewelry, and then she can hit a button, and then she's, like, dressed for a gala, which is fun. But that was kind of all that she had. She didn't have any middle of the road. She had working jumpsuit stuff, and then crazy glam queen. So there was no middle of the road.
And
She
now
has
she
a little
has
dress
a
as
little
well.
middle of the road.
Yeah.
So yeah, y'all are able to settle in for that tonight. Casey, you mentioned wanting to circle back to a conversation Anima and Farida had about Anima designing the loadout for the Aegis spell.
Yeah. Yes.
So, do one of y'all want to start that conversation?
I just kind of let Anima do with it as she will. So I'm not really looking to, like, pry it out. If it takes a decade to get an answer, I'm willing to wait that long. So I probably wouldn't start it.
I'll get back to the ship and we put all our stuff away and
So you all know where everyone's rooms are.
yeah.
They like put little plaques on the door, and there's only like 6 people on the ship right now.
Yeah. I'm gonna knock on Ferida's door.
Yes. Hello, Anima.
Good afternoon. You asked me about the shield spell.
Yes.
I
You came up with something?
have an idea.
Ooh, I love ideas. Tell me.
Right. It's a shield spell.
Okay.
So I was thinking maybe like when you cast it, it creates like I don't know, a bubble or like maybe like a skin, like a second skin, in sort of a very light blue. Then if someone hits it, then it sort of shimmers from the point they hit it, and maybe some pinks or greens, like the walls this morning during the music.
Ooh, yeah. That's a good idea.
I'm so proud of Anima right now.
Absolutely. Maybe, thinking along the lines of pinks and greens, maybe it's green if it stops something physical, for example, a fist or something, or a bullet, and it turns pink if it stops energy.
Oh, that is yes.
It's so cool. And she pulls out the holographic thing and like pats on her bed next to her, pulls up her holographic computer and starts getting to work on the programming. And it takes a hot second because she starts from scratch. But we'll ask smaller details like, how big would the sparks be whenever something hits? Or you mentioned bubble. What if it's just like an actual sphere around me that has the kind of reflectiveness of a bubble, but then is like a little bit of light blue as you look through?
And I guess I don't know anything about the mechanics of the way this spell works. But, can it like fail?
You create a kinetic barrier around yourself to impair the impact from physical attacks. Never mind, it won't do anything for energy. Until the end of your next turn, you have resistance against bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage dealt by weapon attacks. You also receive a +2 bonus to your burst save. I guess if someone, like, counters the spell, then yes.
Okay. What if it did different colors for different types of damage?
That would work. So we can use pink for piercing, because it seems more angry and problematic. Greens for bludgeoning.
Pink is angry?
A. It's the closest thing to red that was given to me.
I was about to say, have you met Tally?
I'm not imagining Tally bubblegum pink. I'm imagining, like
a hotter pink.
Closer to red.
Yeah, like, if you see an alarm that's flashing this color, you don't think, ooh, pretty bubblegum pink. You think, oh, that's an alarm flashing pink. You know what I mean? So yeah, she would kind of guide Anima through, like, each of the different variables, I guess, trying to keep it straightforward, right? Not getting really confusing or nitpicky about the specifics of like how you change something or how things relate to each other, but just be like, so that you can see where these changes are and you can see your mark on the work. And at a certain point, she'll be like, okay, so we have it programmed and it works. Want to go try it out in the training room?
Certainly.
Cool, let's go.
Tally's go see y'all heading to the training room, like, hey, what are you guys up to?
Farida will get this kid on Christmas morning face and say, Anima helped me design one of my spells. You want to come see?
Going to try it out.
Heck yeah! Come on, let's go! And she, like, runs off ahead of you. And she was like, wait, where are y'all going?
The training room.
Okay, good. Thought so. I just get really excited sometimes. Always wanted to see how this works. So she slows down a little bit so y'all can keep up and into the training room. It's kind of gestures for y'all to do whatever it is you're gonna do.
Right. Well, Anima, since we're friends, I'm not going to ask you to punch me.
I would prefer that.
Tally, do you have a system that can act like it's punching me, but shouldn't hurt too bad?
yeah, just step on this platform.
Okay, I step on that platform.
And she taps on some stuff on the wall, glances at you, taps some more, and a sort of energy being hologram person comes up. You ready? When I take my hand off, it's gonna go.
Go for it. And I'll cast Aegis as my first turn in combat.
Yeah, so the energy being runs at you and it punches the shield.
I'll put up my arm to block the attack, and you see a shell kind of appear, almost like a perimeter, maybe about 1.5 inches away from her arm itself. It's the base glowing blue, and it's a punch, so it's probably bludgeoning, dealt by weapon attacks. Guides it away. No, give him a weapon. It doesn't work without a weapon, apparently.
Correction. It doesn't go to punch you. It just goes to hit you with this, like a baton.
Yeah. Okay. Then she'll block it with her arm. You see the shield pop up. It's about 1.5 inches away from her skin. It's blue at the beginning. And then with the baton kind of a thing, that's probably bludgeoning. And it shows up in a bright green. And Anima, what did you choose for the particle effects on the bludgeoning damage? You can ask Casey for help.
Yeah. Casey didn't look up any spells because that's not what she's doing in this.
Aesthetic design behind it. I read you the spell. It's a cantrip.
Yeah. Okay. Bludgeoning?
Yes.
What visual effect?
Yeah. Green sort of falls through it almost in like a floral pattern. Petals of a flower coming from point of
Nice.
impact.
I like that. The Doctor Strange, the little symbols, the round sigils that he makes, but instead of straight lines, it's curved like a mandala.
Yeah, sort of, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe instead of following the outline of the armor, it looks like she's put up a shield, basically. Just goes boom.
Huh?
And like
Yeah.
hitting a gong, the impact will ripple out into leaves.
Yes. Yeah.
That's cool.
When that happens, Tally's just like, that was cool, and like swipes down on the thing, and that one dissolves, and another one pops up. This one's holding a saber, so it'll be slashing damage. And it runs up and attacks you.
I will cast Aegis again. What does slashing damage look like, Casey? Or Anima?
Slashing is going to be like a lilac purple, like a light purple. It's going to electric spark.
Like there's a name for the pattern that is made when lightning strikes something.
Is I should know this, and I don't remember it.
The light just sort of refracts out like bolts of lightning.
Yes. It's like a kind of a fractal kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Lichtenberg figures.
Lichtenberg figures! Oh, God, I should know that. It was
Yeah.
not important. Lichtenberg figures. Yeah, it goes out in Lichtenberg figures from like the slash.
That's cool. Also, do
learned
not Google
something new
image
today.
search that. That's a bad Google image search.
No.
How bad in what way? Like,
Well, you can see the scars left behind on actual human bodies by lightning strikes.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought it meant like.
Oh, listeners at home, don't Google that. I might edit that part out. Because then we will have more people Googling it.
Well, it still looks cool because I'm thinking that maybe it'll actually follow the outer shell of the armor like lightning would do in real life, and it'll actually flash the lilac color.
Cool.
Brighter
Yeah, I
than
like
the bludgeoning, but
Like that.
kind of like a lightning strike.
I like that.
Yeah.
Alex just kind of in the background, like clapping her hands, like, "Oh yay! Oh, I love it! It looks so good." And she swipes down, like, "Okay, one more, right?
Yes.
All right." And she hits the button. First, that figure dissolves. A new one pops up and lifts what looks like a laser pistol at you and fires.
It hits me.
You have enough time to cast.
It hits me.
Doesn't it take piercing damage?
It only works against physical attacks.
Correction. It does not.
Ow. Wrong kind of piercing damage.
And then
Will it not count as piercing?
It does, but it's not a physical attack.
I think the laser pistol counts as an energy attack.
Oh, in
Yeah,
that
right.
case, correction. The second one doesn't dissolve. It just pulls the sword saber back and goes to do a stab.
I freak out, just momentarily pull out my baton and bat the weapon away, but the thing still triggers, though I don't get stabbed.
Okay, so thing is a ink and sort of a starburst pattern.
Are you thinking like welding sparks?
I was thinking more like it hits, and then there's just like the force sort of radiates out.
Like the star effects from Kill la Kill?
Yes. It's like,
Okay, that's cool.
Kill la Kill. I was like, I should know this. I've seen Kill la Kill.
That was my
that.
first anime, and it was an interesting introduction to anime.
That is
You're
interesting.
welcome.
Then I went to Tokyo Ghoul because someone showed me the finale. Then I had to know how it got there.
Okay. Yeah.
Then, in the moment that Farida swings the baton at the sword, whacking it out of the way, that impact, the blue still extends past all the way into the baton, and the impact point between the sword and the baton will spark with that star. And as she bats it away, there might be a trail of stars that go behind it.
It's cool.
Tally's just like, that's so cool! And then she just like swipes at them all for a little bit before she finds the right panel and deactivates the thing. Just like, that was so cool! Good job, Anima!
Thank you.
This is fabulous. I will wear it with pride.
I'm glad you like it.
Once you can start showing off your performances again, we need to look into that.
That's fair. Yeah, I would like to resolve that little mystery. Well then, what do we need to do now?
Not much to do. It'll take us a couple days to get where we're going, so hang out, research, talk. Ooh, we should do a game night. I'll talk to Tie Inspector about that.
That sounds like fun. Hey, Tally, I have this song. I want to figure out who the artist is, but I only have this like really poor quality audio rip of the song. Do you think that you could ask around and try to figure out who's responsible for it?
Yeah, do you want to show me the original? I can get a better version. I can get a better recording of it and make it easier.
Sure you can. I passed her a really low quality version of the song that I made that morning.
Only deception.
I'm not deceiving her in the slightest bit. She would recognize this as the song that I've been working on.
You're saying you don't know who the song is by, but you made it.
Okay, yes. Could you ask the internet to try to figure out who made it?
Why?
I'm trying to figure out a way to get this music out there, and, well, rumors of my death have been greatly exaggerated. But we still want them to be rumors.
At least on the Federation side of things.
Correct.
It was not Anima laughing. That was Casey.
Yeah, send it to me.
Wonderful. And I send her the lower quality version of the song.
I do get to listen to the official version of this, right?
I didn't hand it to you yet. Well, here's the original version, and here's the low-res version.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll start fishing around and see what we can find out about who made you famous thing.
I'm kind of curious. I don't know how far into the dark net you are, but if anyone can identify you, they would be able to figure out where we are. So, I mean, I'm guessing that you're probably careful enough to take that into account.
I'm not on there a whole lot. Spectra spends more time on there than I do. And Ty does some when he has to.
Question, Violina, where are you hanging out? As we're walking probably to some lounge or bar.
It's a good question.
I just kind of picture we were just standing around talking in the training room. We could just be kind of out and wandering and everyone's just kind of following where everyone is going, so we're not walking anywhere in particular, we're just walking.
Then I would be walking with purpose to Violina's room to ring you up and get you roped into my wacky plan.
Okay, sure. Find me.
Anima is here, and she's along for the ride, and she doesn't really get it because she was never really aware that Farida was like, Amos, she doesn't really get it. She's here.
Don't worry, I didn't either.
She's just following.
She's here to be moral support, I guess.
Alright, so Farida, you want me to see what the reactions are for this song?
More between you and Tally, I was wondering if you could ask around to see if anybody could figure out who made this song that y'all managed to find a bootleg of.
The Shadow Net.
The Shadow Net or the not so shadowy net.
Okay, does it matter if Federation side or?
Preferably not Federation side.
It's fair. Okay, so it'd be the Alliance side.
Yeah, I mean, we are technically dead.
Yeah.
The Alliance knows exactly how exaggerated that is, but they're also not about to start broadcasting your being here, because that could be weird. We don't know how much would leak over. There's just a lot of questions.
Yeah, that means that there are many people who would be interested in hearing about this rumor, but that aren't going to hear about it. So this is supposed to sow the seeds of doubt.
Sure, I'll help give it a look.
Hooray! Thank you.
It happens.
Well, you two are the only ones, besides the captain, but I don't want to rope the captain into this, who I know that do ShadowNet stuff. So I figured you would be the best ones to talk to about it.
Tally looks up like, didn't want the captain in on this?
Well, okay. I didn't want to waste her time with my petty mission to get this song out into the airwaves.
Oh, I was just double checking that she was gonna keep an eye out for reactions to see if we could figure out who's been bringing your music over. I mean, that's kind of the plan anyway.
Down with getting her in on it. I just didn't want to bother her.
Kind of tucks her arms behind her back sheepishly. It's like, yeah, I'm bad at keeping stuff from her. Unless it's a surprise party. In that case, I'm better at trying, not always at succeeding. I've been told my face gives a lot away.
Or very expressive.
I'm guessing that we will be playing poker for our game night.
I mean, if you want to lose all the money you got.
Aw, why would we need to bet money?
What kind of poker are you talking about?
She's got this shit-eating grid that says that she's won so much money in poker that you wouldn't believe it.
And Tally's just like, you realize I do have a criminal record, right?
But that's the beauty about poker now, isn't it? That it's all on the table, not what happens around the table.
That's how the Federation plays poker, but I've got some other stuff. Some more games I need to teach you. Fun to see what I could win.
For clarity's sake, I'm roping in the captain to this quest as well.
She was already planning on trying to start figuring things out.
Yeah, but she probably wanted to hear about us being numbskulls and trying silly things.
Aboard the Opal Star is an Esper Genesis 5e actual play podcast DM'd and produced by Brianna Toiber as part of Pseudonym Social, a creative podcast network.
I'm Casey, and I'm playing Anima the Ashen Forged.
Victor, and I'm playing Farida the Promethean.
My name's Alexis, and I am playing Vilena Sorel, the Eldori.
Music is by Patrick Chester of Chester Studios. To see more of his work, visit his website at chesterstudios.net. Find out more about Pseudonym Social by visiting our website at pseudonymsocial.wordpress.com. If you like what we're doing and would like to support us, please consider leaving a review or donating to our Patreon at patreon.com/pseudonymsocial. Aboard the Opal Star is an Esper Genesis 5e actual play podcast DM'd and produced by Brianna Toiber as part of Pseudonym Social, a creative podcast network.
I'm Casey, and I'm playing Anima the Ashen Forged.
Victor, and I'm playing Farida the Promethean.
My name's Alexis, and I am playing Vilena Sorel, the Eldori.
Music is by Patrick Chester of Chester Studios. To see more of his work, visit his website at chesterstudios.net. Find out more about Pseudonym Social by visiting our website at pseudonymsocial.wordpress.com. If you like what we're doing and would like to support us, please consider leaving a review or donating to our Patreon at patreon.com/pseudonymsocial.
Hello, Zero here, onboard AI of the SSS Destiny's Child, welcoming you to the We Suck at D&D podcast.
Now watch out, the next part might shock you.
Do you like lasers? And explosions? And interdimensional travel through a world-eating void?
Well, then this show might be for you. Hi, Kirk, the DM here for We Suck at D&D podcast. If you want something a little out of the norm, come check us out. You can find us at wesuckpodcast.wixsite.com. Come follow us and go
Yawn.